Alright guys, Sauce here. Going to show you the basic layout for the trifecta of this underwater base. And it's really a four-part because you got the tower and the underwater base, obviously. But this is what I find to be the best way to build it. So you have, your prefab house that you start building in, you start gathering your resources in and stuff. You have the underwater base where you store all your important stuff. You're going to have your underwater tower, obviously, for defense. And then you have the forge room. And what I like to do is I like to find a big rock like this and carve out the top. And the reason is because on the ground, and I just broke my leg. On the ground, you really don't notice, I was in God mode, that there's anything there. It's actually broken before. So you don't really notice there's anything there. It just looks like a normal, innocent rock. But when you climb up here, we find, gasp, a hole. That's what she said. Let me come down here. Now, normally I would have most of this, well, first of all, I'd have all the, obviously, the resources dug out of it. I would have everything surrounded in concrete down here, so it'd be that much harder to actually dig in towards the base. And I would put a double door on it, but I just did the single door to give you an idea what it's going to look like inside. You put your forges in here, and you put your concrete mixer in here. Personally, I dedicate two to, exclusively to any kind of rock, stone for making concrete, and the other two are for metals of any kind. And you want to put it all the way at bedrock if you can. You could put it a little bit above, and I advocate for that for the underwater base, which, by the way, someone asked and I've answered the question, why do I put it above bedrock? That way, if you want to dig into it, most people are going to dig straight to bedrock and then dig over into the base. If you do it this way, you really can't. If you put it above the bedrock, they're going to dig straight at bedrock and then over into your base and find nothing. Maybe they'll find the bottom of it if they dig around enough, but then it's going to be harder to get up into it. They got to dig a ramp or they got to dig some kind of steps. With a land claim, that can be extremely difficult and annoying. Then we come up to the actual farmhouse, and I don't really care for this particular prefab, but it's good enough for showing the example. Cut the roof off, put your farm inside. Now, with this prefab, and with most of them, the issue with this is going to be the weight from the actual grass and stuff up here, the crops growing, because when they grow, they increase the weight, you can have a cave-in, as we all know from the lamp incident. But if you look at this, I've got it reinforced with some concrete blocks. Nothing fancy, because as long as it's reinforced, you're good. Obviously, no door, because this is just an example. But this is how I would build it. I would have, some farm up here, maybe a little bit of light storage, some stuff downstairs. But really, this is just a staging area to build the underwater base. And again, the underwater base is primarily for your bed, your storage, that kind of stuff. It's not really meant to be everything in there. If you put everything in there, you're really taken away from what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be protected to the point of, being almost impossible to break into. If you split everything up the way that I'm showing here with the forge room, the farmhouse, and that, most people are going to raid the farmhouse. Put some items in there. Put some yellow guns, some shitty stuff. That way people go in there, they think they've gotten your stash. Obviously, we all know it's in the underwater base. You do your forging here, and you want to keep this much farther away from the house than what I have. If you can see the building, you're too close. Now, I've got my distance pretty significantly high, so see how, boy, and now it's gone. This is roughly the distance you want to put your forging. You find a good sized rock, you dig into it. Too small, might be okay. And obviously you can also make stone to add onto the rock to increase its size. Just try to copy what you have there to try to add on to it. Like, see this? You can see the shape of it. Add on to the actual average shape. Showed me money. And then you should be fine, because if you can't see the house, the sound and stuff like that, it's going to pull all the zombies towards the forges away from the house. If you're not actually over there, it won't horde up or spawn nothing. But zombies will still be pulled in that direction, and it'll protect your house, it'll protect your base. Super important. Like, subscribe, comment, all the goods. Thanks, guys.